Guys, I hate to say it, but I don't have anything to say about the intro this time. This sucks. We have more than half a season of this intro left. I can't be running out of things to point out. Maybe next time, but maybe I've said everything there is to say. I didn't realize this until a week ago when I said this episode's title out loud for the first time. Joking victim is a play on the phrase choking victim, because Lars chokes as a result of a joke. I can't believe that flew over my head for the past 10 years. Not that this is an episode I paid attention to each time I rewatched this show, far from it. I never actually paid attention to how big the arcade was. Did you know it had this entrance over here? This entrance we see all the time, and there's another entrance around the corner you can see in other episodes. It's fucking huge.
They're special because they're seasoned with fire salt.
I'm pretty sure the spigot only appears in this episode for the purpose of breaking and making Steven run to the big donut. I don't remember seeing it before, and I can't remember seeing it in any episodes after this. Water isn't good for getting rid of spiciness because capsaicin dissolves in alcohol, not water. However, salt dissolves in water, so fire salt probably does as well, which is probably why Steven recovered so quickly.
Steven, who do you think has to clean up this mess? Sadie, clean up this mess.
Alright, good joke, but throughout this episode, Sadie is totally blind to Lars's dickishness, and as an outsider looking in, it's totally ridiculous, right? We all know Sadie is crushing on Lars in the early show, and that kind of infatuation clouds your judgment. I'm sure most of us have been there, where you're willingly blind to all the negatives in someone or something. Even some fans of this show are like that.
No, wait, it's your turn. I cleaned the last 5 Stevens.
Also good joke. This shit happens often enough that they can just call an incident a Steven.
You gonna be finding your own?
Well, I guess so. Oh, I can't run this place by myself.
Sadie has fucking dementia, I guess. Or whoever wrote this does. This gag of Steven taking a fuckload of napkins comes back at least one more time in this series.
I hereby deputize you as Lars for the day.
Steven being Lars for a day also comes back one other time in the series. There's a Tiger Millionaire poster. Nice continuity, and it's probably Lars who put it there in the first place.
This is the most magical place I've ever seen.
They're not all landing, but this episode's jokes per minute are off the charts. This might be the most jokes written into any episode so far. Maybe the title, Joking Victim, has more going on than I initially thought.
These are the extra supplies, cups, plastic silverware. Sometimes I sleep on the napkins when I get tired.
But isn't that a box of donuts? This isn't what they do in real donut shops, right? I mean, most places in real life bake them in the store. I don't actually know though. Does anyone in the comments work at a donut place? Can you confirm or deny that your donuts come pre-baked in a cardboard box like this?
Is that why they're called napkins?
Not really, no. Good joke, though.
Sadie's got the same energy that I have with this episode. I can't say that I'm laughing at any of these jokes, but I can appreciate the writing that went into them. They're just not that funny.
Sometimes Lars will cover for me so I can watch Canine Court.
I don't know what Canine Court is, it never comes up again, but I think this poster is somehow related. Sadie's ass looks like a face. I was gonna point it out eventually, so why not now?
You mean you don't make them here?
No, not since the accident.
I made a joke all the way back in Crystal Sins that this somehow ties into why the big donut doesn't seem to have any management. The more I consider it, the less it's a joke, and the more it seems like the beginning of a reasonable explanation. Is it any wonder why this training video is the thing most people remember about this episode? I'll say it now, this episode doesn't have a lot going on, so this is the main highlight.
Now if a customer chokes on a donut, that ain't right. They law requires that you assist them.
I'm not a lawyer, at least not professionally, but there aren't any states in the actual United States that has this kind of law. Some states have a law that you have to call for help when someone is in danger, but nothing requiring you to physically save them. In fact, it might open you up to getting sued if you, say, crack their rib while performing the Heimlich maneuver.
Donuts at the big donut.
Hey, they make the world go round.
Gotta say, I hate Mr. Smiley a little bit less after this moment.
Maybe I should phone up Lars, tell him he can stay home because I found his replacement.
Really?
Oh, no, that was a joke.
God, this episode's jokes are getting worse and worse. I ran out of things to say about the intro. I feel like I might run out of things to say about the whole episode.
Look, I like Lars. He's a nice guy.
Well, if we can't talk about the episode, let's talk about Lars. Lars, right after Connie, is the most important human character in the show. A lot of the townies get spotlight episodes, but Lars gets like twice as many as whoever's in second place. No matter what role he plays in an episode, he's characterized really well, as a dick. But you can't help but want to see the good side of him. Lars's entire character arc was one of the main plot points that was planned out since the beginning of this show. He's the perfect character foil for Steven. If Steven is an unstoppable force of positivity, Lars is the immovable object of negativity. Eventually, one of them is destined to break.
Aw, you already ordered pizza.
What is Fish Stew Pizza's plan when Jenny takes the delivery car for personal use? I doubt Beach City is big enough to have something like DoorDash as a backup.
It's no problem, because I got the whole day off by faking a severe back injury.
Sometimes I harp on bad line delivery, but if I did for this line, I'd be criticizing the wrong thing. This is just written badly. It's so on the nose. I haven't had much praise to give to this episode, but the setup and payoff designed to make you feel bad for Sadie is really well done. Sadie is kind of that one character you always feel bad for in a bunch of different episodes. There's a couple exceptions, and one really big one we'll get to later in this season.
He's burned me before. Just once. I'd like to burn him back.
I know how to burn people.
Burning people. He says what we're all thinking.
You like that dated reference? Anyway, this is another one of those things that only play out the way it does because of the ridiculously specific phrasing characters use. It's like a sitcom episode. It works for these early episodes, but it stops working when the show gets more serious. I guess I was wrong. Canine Court does actually come up once. Sadie's also snacking on oyster crackers, which she mentions are her favorite earlier in the episode.
And he got a big box of oyster crackers. They're my favorite.
Very subtle, very unnecessary, but much appreciated.
But what kind of person does that make you if you try to hurt him back?
Hero?
Best joke in the episode. They've been throwing jokes at the wall this whole time, and this one stuck the best.
I finally got out of bed, but I don't think I can work today either.
Steven's plan also wouldn't have worked if Lars decided to do the reasonable thing and call in to work instead of coming in to do this song and dance. Lars might be a slacker, but he's really bad at it.
Yo, Sadie, where you at? Are you slacking off?
Sadie was there the whole time. You can see her right in front of Lars. Is he stupid? If I could praise this episode for anything, it would be that the faces characters make are so good. Steven screaming at the beginning, Lars in this scene, Steven right before this, and even the serious moment earlier when Sadie gets pissed at Lars. Everyone's so expressive this episode. I almost forgot to say, add the fire salt to that growing list of weird gem things that only appear during season 1. We get another one next episode as well.
The largest bowl of ice cream in Beach County!
I don't know, man. It's an anti-joke. It's not funny. It's just kind of stupid.
It wasn't Steven! It was me.
Was it, though? Steven had the idea. Steven brought the fire salt. This would have happened whether or not you were the one to actually dump it on the donut. This scene always felt so undeserved.
After all I do for you, you lie to me so you can sneak off with some other girl?
And other boys.
Yeah, get that fucking representation in there.
If a customer chokes on a donut, state law requires that you assist them.
Lars is not actually a customer since he didn't pay for that donut, so legally speaking, Steven isn't required to assist him. He's just doing it because that's his job as a crystal gem.
Hey, we make a pretty great team.
You were absolutely no help whatsoever.
Amethyst is only here, so I can't complain that there were no gems in this episode. This episode is... I don't know. I don't think I'd consider it filler. I'd just consider it boring. We get character development for Sadie and Lars, and like I said, Lars is one of the most important characters in the show. Though it's so early that you're not really thinking about that now. It's like 3 or 4 more seasons before that character development pays off. Just not a lot happens in the episode. It's a lot of putzing around and not doing much until the very end. It's not the worst, but there's a good reason that I've skipped it on some of my rewatches. Okay, normally I mention what episode I'm doing after the patron shoutouts, but this time I'm changing it up. Next episode would be Steven and the Stevens, but I thought it would be a better idea to cover the pilot next week, since both of those episodes kind of have the same premise. So that's what I'll do. When I do Steven and the Stevens after that, I'll be able to make comparisons to the pilot, which I think will make that episode more fun. If you want to see that episode now, or you want to see each new episode of Gemology a week in advance, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description. Shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Alex Martin, Emily, Fiore Army, Hey to how do you pronounce that? Raylin, Cindirant, Scala LD, Stephen Wickers, and the Tamara. Also, shoutouts to these apprentice patrons. I'll see all of you next week for the pilot.